Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to take a look at the United States dollar coins. And we'll look at all these ones here. We'll also talk about some of the earlier ones. And we'll go back to the silver dollars. And then we'll go back all the way to the 1840s when they put out this little tiny gold $1 coin. All right, let's take a look at some of those. In 1836, they came out with the Gobrecht Dollar, which later became the Seated Liberty Dollar, and that lasted until 1873. Then they came out with the Trade Dollar, which was similar to the Seated Liberty, but that Trade Dollar only lasted until the first of the Morgan Dollars came out in 1878, although the Trade Dollar did go on as a proof until 1885. Now there was a gold US dollar from 1849 to 1889, and you can see that dollar here. And one of the things you want to look at for this gold dollar is not just how much they're worth, $26,400 for this one here, which is in Mint State 66, but look here, 12.7 millimeters and 1.7 grams. The Eisenhower Dollar, which weighed 22.7 grams. The Eisenhower Dollar weighed 21 grams more than this one. Really the only coin that I know of that we had that was close to that was the US 3-cent coin. And here's that 3-cent coin. You can see the star, the United States. It's a silver 3-cent coin. And there's the 3 on the back. You can see those stars going all the way around it. This silver 3-cent coin was actually larger than the gold coin. So to give us a scale, here's a Sacagawea Dollar. There's a 3-cent coin. And this 3-cent coin was larger in diameter than the Liberty Gold dollar coins. But the Liberty dollar coins, even though they were this tiny, weighed about twice as much as the 3-cent coins. So if you get a coin this small, first of all, it's just hard keeping track of it. Second of all, if the gold was, even though the gold's a little bit heavier, if it starts to wear down, it's really hard to see what it is. And unless you can test for gold really well, you don't even know whether this coin is silver or the old Liberty Gold dollars, which were smaller than this, were gold. Now we're up to our Morgan dollars. Let's take a look at that Morgan dollar. Here's one from the 1880s. You can see it says E pluribus unum round the top, 1883 here, and Liberty in the headband that Lady Liberty's wearing as she looks to the left. And she also has this Phrygian cap on, this cap that encourages thought. And then if you turn this dollar to the back, you see on the back it says the United States of America, the In God We Trust. And there's the $1 with that eagle that we find on a lot of United States coins, holding arrows and holding an olive branch, which is a sign of peace. When they stopped making these dollars, they switched to what we call the peace dollars. And here's a peace dollar here, Lady Liberty with the tiara that kind of sticks way up. And then underneath her chin, you can see it says, In God We Trust, Liberty across the top. This is a 1924. And on the back of these ones, it says, United States of America, E pluribus unum, $1. And down here, and that's why they call it the peace dollar, it says peace. And the peace dollars were made until 1935, and then they stopped making them. They're really heavy. They're hard to kind of take care of. The barbers were 90% silver. The peace dollars were 90% silver. And then in 1971, they came out with the Eisenhower dollars. They did come out with a silver version, but it's a specialty version. And you could get that from 1971 to 1974, and you could get that in 1976 for the bicentennial. It was hoped that the Eisenhower dollar would be a replacement for dollar bills, but it was so big and heavy that nobody really did ever replace the dollar bills. On the back of it, we have the eagle landing on the moon, and some of you know this. We used the same reverse for the Susan B. Anthony coins later. Eagle landing on the moon, carrying an olive branch, which carried through the coins, and there's the earth over its shoulder. And this, of course, is a Clad one. You can see the copper in it. And then in 76, they changed the front of it. And you can see it has the 200 years, 1776, 1976. And they changed the back of it from the eagle landing on the moon to the Liberty Bell in front of the moon. Again, still United States of America $1 e pluribus unum here. This is one of the silver ones, but remember the 1971 to 1974 Ikes and the 1976 Ike is 40% silver, not 90% silver. So this coin here, if we actually weighed this coin, you'd see that the silver coin weighs 24.6 grams and the regular Ike weighs 22.7 grams, or in that range. So about 2 grams more for the silver Ikes than for the clad or copper centered Ikes. After 1976, they came back in 77, 78 with the Eisenhower dollars, and then in 1979 they came out with the Susan B. Anthony dollars. And this is kind of a funny design. It's round, and it's also a clad coin. No silver Susan B's, and you can see the mint mark back there. But they took the original Eisenhower reverse, eagle landing on the moon, and they put that on the back of the Susan B. Anthony coins. And they thought maybe that this smaller coin would have a better chance of taking the place of dollar bills, but alas, it didn't. And the Susan B. Anthony coin went from 1979, 1980, 1981, made a resurgence in 1999, and then the Sacagawea came out in the year 2000. The Sacagaweas are still made today, but they have a different reverse on the new ones. They call them the Native American dollars. And here's the first of the Native American dollars, and this is the Three Sisters coin, 2009. And of course, this coin was the first of the Sacagawea, or first of the Native American dollars, but it also was the first one to have the edge lettering. Of course, the Sacagawea dollars just had the date right on there and had no edge lettering. And it's just same Sacagawea, just a different back. And so from 2009 on, even till today, these all had a different symbol from a different American tribe on the back. And these ones are interesting because the new Sacagaweas and the presidential dollar coins have the year on the side. And there it is, 2007, and that's the first year that the presidential dollars came out. And these are really hard to light. Let's see if we can get a better light on that. Not quite so bright, maybe. This is the Thomas Jefferson, one of the first years. There's also a Washington, an Adams, and a Madison in that first year, I believe. And on the back of these, we have the Statue of Liberty, which is very similar to that new $50 coin that we have. I got one of them in the back. Here's a new $50, and you can see the Statue of Liberty on it, 1776, 2026. And there is the Statue of Liberty on the presidential dollar. Thanks for watching DC Coin World International Coin Channel's look at the dollar coins from the United States. If you have any comments, please put them in the comment section, and we'd love to have you subscribe to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel.